because the kind of the graph she had, where she started from, where she
Versatile.
had right now, versatile. But I don't want to
Not
say only
niche. Yeah,
professionally.
yeah.
I want to say it personally also.
मेरे लिए तो आप सिर्फ महादेव ही रहेंगे.
वो तो मरते दम तक रहेंगे.
Unfortunately, in romantic relationships is where many of us end up needing a lot of validation from, even more than our platonic relationships.
रणबीर कपूर.
Fabulous.
Very talented.
Greatest of the generation.
Validation comes from not having enough confidence in yourself, thus you need more validation from outside. And I think the less confidence you have, the more easier you are to manipulate. And so when I was younger and I needed more validation, I was way more easy to manipulate as I am today.
Hello, namaste and welcome to Filmygyan. मैं हूँ पूजा नवाते and today I'm in conversation with the team of Kan Kajura. Hello, welcome to Filmygyan.
Hi.
How are
Thank you
you?
so much, Pooja.
So fun to be here.
How are you all doing today in a corporate building? Processing?
We're certainly
This is the most
visually
well-behaved
here.
we've been. Like saying like really properly, like.
We're definitely fitting the vibe, I think, all of us.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself, I'm wearing lingerie outside my clothes. It's my inside-outside look.
Yeah.
That's the new corporate.
Wow, amazing. But I think being actors, you have that freedom wherever you go. You're like water. You
Mm.
just,
How very Bruce Lee of you.
Okay, so coming to talk about Kan Kajura, I love the vibe of the show. Crime thriller is something I do not love watching it because थोड़ी फट्टू टाइप्स हूँ मैं. डर लगता है रियल लाइफ में कुछ ऐसा हो ना जाए टाइप्स. बट ये जब देखा, पहले तो I come from Goa.
Oh.
So I was like, wow, interesting.
Were our accents and stuff okay?
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't start with that.
But I want to ask you, interesting सबसे ज़्यादा क्या था? Shooting in Goa or shooting for Kan Kajura?
Mohit, would you
सबसे
like to
पहले
take
कौन
that
जाना
question?
चाहेगा?
I think
I
Mohit
think
has
shooting
stuff
in
to
Goa.
say. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
It's
it's
fun, no?
It's fun. It's fun. Not that we had a lot of time in our hands to go and roam around.
Lies.
But but different people, different food, local people to interact with. I think it was a good experience.
No, please, I have to say the story because this is because I remember things.
What?
Please.
So this is the
He has no
and
clue.
because this is the first question. You were involved in this without you even knowing, by the way.
Oh,
Because-
अच्छा, that's a party thing.
Yeah. Okay. So
Oh, it was a
basically,
party.
I've met Mohit before,
Okay.
but we've not really hung out as much. We did another show together, but we didn't really interact that much.
Okay.
So in this show, obviously, I'm playing his wife. There's a full-on track going on, and it's the second day of shoot, I think. And Mohit comes, he's like, so like, I hear you're like partly from Goa and all of that. We're having this whole conversation about Goa. He's like, Roshan and I went out last night and it was amazing. We got home at 4 o'clock, and I'm like, and you didn't invite me? And the thing is, I don't know him that well, just to look like a loser and be like, oh, you didn't call me.
But this
And-
really happened? You went out?
Wait. No, wait. So he's like, oh my God, we went out and it was so much fun. We went like from place to place, and I'm feeling even more and more FOMO is happening under say. And we're on shoot, doing serious scenes. And I'm like dying of FOMO. And then he just played it on the whole time until like much later on in the day, I found out that they had not done anything. They had just gone back to the hotel room.
They were
We-
practicing
He didn't even
Kankhajura
know.
from before the shoot started.
Also,
Wow.
we had
I don't even
absolutely
think you
no
were
time.
drinking at the time. Or
Not
no,
at all.
neither were you. And
No.
I had this whole image in my head like, wow, they've gone out and had the time of their lives in Goa and I missed out.
FOMO
and-
हो गया.
No, actually,
Pura.
shoot for this was really, really hectic, especially for Mohit and me.
Yeah.
But the fact that we were in Goa sort of like relaxed us a little bit, I think. And then the rest of the fun came from things like this.
But
Which we
place
had.
does matter, right? Is there a particular resemblance of Goa? Does this place also play a role?
I think, for me personally, Goa was a place I've been to twice exactly, okay, before the shoot. And they were with strangely enough, an ex at the time. And so we saw a very different side to Goa then.
Okay.
And I was like, all of the heartbreak from this, I will pump into this side of Goa and use it here.
Right.
Because clearly Amy goes through some things that I have been through also.
That's so interesting.
It was fun to...
It is a
No, Goa
quintessential
actually
part of
plays
the
a very
script.
sorry.
Yeah.
please
No,
take
no,
it
what
easy.
he's saying, what you're saying. Please go
It
ahead.
was a very important part of the script because it resembles, those two small town brothers who are trying to still make
Yeah.
their life, and especially out of hospitality industry. So all those things, Goa played a very important role. And I personally really like states and cities which have really maintained the heritage. I feel Goa has really maintained that. No old school charm and all those. So I think it really worked for the show.
Absolutely.
And speaking of Goa, I think food, is important because that's something that Ashu and Amy bond over quite a bit. And Amy runs the bakery. There's like Poi is like one character that's just there throughout the show. She's just carrying it everywhere. It's what starts the relationship between the two characters. And they're making dessert, and they're remember
You're
that?
making dessert.
I'm making
mostly
dessert.
eating it.
Yeah, he's
But
eating,
yeah.
but she
Oh.
takes great joy in feeding him a lot of Goan delicacy, and there's Goan music that she listens to. So there's a lot of that, and I had a playlist on Spotify with. I mean, of course, a bunch of that didn't make it to the show, but the original script had like Goan songs and things
Correct.
written in it. So I had this Amy playlist, which and because apparently at some point I had to sing it or something in a scene that we were supposed to do
Yeah?
together,
Oh.
dance. Yeah,
Oh.
remember? Like there's this dinner scene which we didn't do eventually,
We did the dinner scene.
but that was just it became something different. Chandan
Right.
made
Guys,
it something
what was the
different.
song? Did you learn it?
Yeah.
I did. I don't
Can
remember
you
it.
sing?
Oh, come
Two
on,
lines.
I
Come
don't-
on, two
guys.
lines.
मुझे याद नहीं है यार. It's
कुछ
been
तो एक
कुछ भी.
line.
it's
All
been a
of
year
this.
and a
Hum
half.
थोड़ा सा.
Strum it.
थोड़ा सा.
Wait, let me actually think. No, I actually really
Oh,
don't
if it
remember
comes
it.
back, we'll make it.
Unfortunately.
But
But
yeah.
it's it was fun.
Since you mentioned about brothers, now playing on screen two brothers. Now you're not real brothers, but you need a reference point to it. In real life, how has your equation been if you have a real brother or with your other siblings, cousins, and how did that help you, play this character? Because this character is not normal. And it may be normal, but people don't come up and say, I have issues with my brother, or I have such issue with my sister, or I have a complex relationship. We haven't heard much of it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Even if they have, of course, I'm sure. But what was your reference point if you do not have such examples in real life?
I don't think I faced that problem or I
Hmm.
had the need of the reference point because in this story, especially these two brothers, there's a gap of a decade, more than a decade, where they don't meet. So because of that the distance, that long time they have been away, so their personalities have developed very differently.
Okay.
So we also didn't have any idea that because 14-15 years is a long time.
Oh.
I think my actor must have been a teenager or college going guy when they must have separated. So we didn't really need that reference point because memories also fade away during the time.
Correct.
So I personally started afresh.
Okay.
Like I didn't really go in that past zone, I guess.
Yeah, and like it's something Chandan sir specifically mentioned actually
Mhm.
before I remember the first time I met him was at JAR office.
Hmm.
Maybe a couple of weeks before shoot. We just sort of like met, said hi. And Chandan sir, I remember said, all of this awkwardness that's there, that you don't know him, all of that we can use. We need all of that. Like this whole story is about these two brothers and how badly this guy wants this guy as his brother, as his entire world, but he doesn't have him. So like I just had to build a relationship with Mohit's character in my head and then crave for him to return that, which is like what happens pretty
Yeah.
much through the show.
It also talks about validation.
Yeah.
Getting
yeah.
validation from somebody you really love, seeking that respect and validation. How much is it important in real life too? Like, what extent can you go to get that validation? And being an artist, you're always seeking
I
the
was,
validation.
you took the words out of my mouth. I was like, we're artists. What do you think? Like,
Yeah,
literally,
exactly.
like, validation is the thing that we live
yeah.
on the most, personally speaking.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Like, for me, it's
yeah.
just, I don't know if I've done a good job or not until it's actually out. Right? And until I may feel good about it. Like, when I left set, I would feel great and be like, okay, I think obviously listening to what Chandan had to say as well. But still, the audience approval, the audience reaction, you thrive on it. At least for me.
True.
I think it's very complex for me in the sense that when I started transitioning, I didn't have a space for validation outside of the internet, right? So for me to be feminine in any capacity and then receive validation for it, social media was the only place that it would happen. And then it became an entertainment thing also with Made in Heaven and like whatever.
Correct.
But I think being in medicine taught me a very important skill, and we call it attached detachment, where you can't get too attached to anything great or anything bad or anything too much. Really, it's got to be very neutral, and I think that's how I see validation. Also, I have a very neutral relationship with it. I don't take it too seriously. I don't take it. That's yeah.
Amazing. For you, Roshan?
Yeah, I mean, like thinking about it from the perspective of work as an actor and everything, for me, it's I depend on my closest circle of friends and family
That
very
yeah,
heavily.
yeah.
For me, like it's come to a point where even my own judgment doesn't really matter as much as theirs. So there are like few people I look up to, a few people whose opinions I really respect, and if there's something that works for them, and if they say it or if I feel it, then that gives me more joy than me having had like a certain sense of satisfaction. But having said that, I've also been trying to get to a place where, in fact, like our cinematographer Rajiv Ravi, he's somebody who I've had a lot of conversations with about this stuff, and there's something very interesting he once said. He said, for me, the whole experience of doing a project is while I'm shooting it, that I'm finding the story through my camera, and at the end of the shoot, it's done for me. And then whatever happens after that, if it's good, it's a bonus. If it's bad, it doesn't matter. So, and like he has so much experience and he's gotten there, but that's like I'm striving.
I
to
have
get
that
there.
attitude towards auditions now.
Yeah, auditions
Oh.
With
actually.
auditions, I just do it and I'm like, I forget about it.
Yeah,
Like if it
yeah.
happens,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mohit, what about you?
I think it's human nature. While you were talking, I was just thinking in the series also, my character is looking for her validation. She is looking
Yeah,
for
so
his
true.
validation.
Wow.
Yeah.
He is looking
Yeah.
for my validation. So I think it's human nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, everybody feels that.
We all look out for
Yeah,
validation.
yeah, yeah.
Since you mentioned कि वो कुछ लोग होते हैं closest ones, उनसे validation मिलना ज़्यादा important है.
Yeah.
But जब वही अपने करीबी लोग हमें betray करते हैं, वो घाव कोई नहीं भर सकता है. So this
Such a-
also
Yeah,
the theme of
yeah.
betrayal is also there
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
show.
Mhm.
How do you deal with the betrayal?
In the
Like, do
show?
you forgive, forget, or in real life
Oh,
as a person?
it can be very
Or you-
traumatizing. It
Yeah.
can be very traumatizing. I think the best thing is to forgive and move on, which is very difficult. It's easier said than done, but that's the only option that you have. Correct?
Really?
Like, that's the only option you have. What?
Time.
Some
I guess,
people do
like,
get
Time.
back though.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking from experience, I'm just saying.
I
Speaking
think
for a friend.
I had read somewhere there till the time they're on your mind, they're
It's your
they're keeping you
burden. Yeah,
busy.
exactly.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So just get it away and move on.
I feel like if someone's done you wrong and you find it too hard to forgive or forget or whatever it is, but that what you said, I think it becomes your problem then.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
person's done what they had to do
Absolutely.
and they've
Yeah.
moved on. And so, I mean, it is much easier said than done though.
Yeah.
Especially when it's someone, the closer the person is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the harder it is to get over. And you were talking about baggage in relationships. So for me, the worst thing is to be cheated on. And so having been in that position, I think that a wound from 10 years ago sometimes will still haunt me. I've forgiven in that sense and gotten over it. I've met the person, I've been civil. I don't hate them, there's no anger towards them. But there's still that little bit of weight that the closer the person is when they let you down, it's just very hard to get over.
I feel like with the validation thing as artists, it's really important to have your community of fellow artists that you rely on for that feedback and that, because you're exposed to the feedback and opinions of way too many people, and if you don't have that grounding and you don't have like those 5 people that you can go and trust to be like, you did a shit job and to be okay with that, you need that as an actor, I realize, but I thankfully haven't been let down by that community or been betrayed by that community. But in romantic relationships, that's a whole other conversation. Yeah, I think unfortunately in romantic relationships is where many of us end up needing a lot of validation from, even more than our platonic relationships, especially when they're starting out.
It's so interesting, right?
Yeah, it's strange.
It's so interesting.
Because my best friend will probably do more for me than
Anyone.
man that I've known
100%.
to this day.
100%. Like, I'll post something and my girlfriends are like, you're so hot. Oh my God. Heart. Fire sign.
Yas queen.
And then,
Yas queen.
And then, like, the boy will post saying, nice.
and
I'll be like,
you'll
oh my God, he said nice. Yeah,
मतलब
anyway.
इतना सा
Yeah.
breadcrumb ऐसे फेंक के दे दो मतलब it'll be like, you know, it's been like
It's
that,
so
right?
true. But the fact that being men, they're not exposed to the like some men do. I'm not judging over here, but they're not used to like being friends. Yeah, just two men friends do not gossip as much as we do. We went out.
No, that's
we,
not true.
we,
I was just gonna say, I don't
I
think
think
it's true anymore.
men
I don't.
gossip
I
very
think it's
much.
men
changed a lot.
gossip. Men gossip like more than women. That is
Yeah.
one thing I
Oh,
have.
you've just like
yeah.
jumped to the other
No, no,
extreme.
no.
Like, in a second.
No, what I meant was, we kind of go and went out to our female friends. Like we go all out. I
Oh.
haven't seen a man going.
They
and
do it in the close circle.
yeah,
Yeah,
close
you'll
circle,
never get to see
in the
it.
safe
Yeah.
space.
Yeah, you'll never get to see it. You never get
No,
to see
actually-
it. You never get
get
to
to
hear
see
about
that.
No,
it.
actually, I'm personally, I have a lot of my I have more close friends who are women than men. And like anytime I vent or I have to have a conversation that's like particularly emotional in nature, I find myself more comfortable around them rather than my guy friends. So I don't know. I've always heard this.
Yeah.
So I guess this is how most of the world works, but it's not that way for me. I find it
Yeah.
extremely
Mohit, who do you went
comfortable.
to?
To the mirror.
To the mirror.
As I said, close friends, you know,
Yeah.
close group of friends,
Yeah.
irrespective of the gender.
Yeah.
But gossip thing, I agree, huh? Men do gossip more than women.
I didn't see
I've
that.
seen that.
I mean, they do. It's not that they don't do, but it's not that they do more than.
Yeah,
I have
it's
seen
not
it.
like
I feel
यार
like-
12 बजे मिलते हैं
Yeah.
till 1:30.
Yeah.
Bedtime.
I feel like the nature of gossip
Yeah.
and how it looks in a social setting is a little different. You know, like how us girlfriends will get together and do our thing.
Yeah.
Like it's a thing.
Like men
I love
gossip.
with, I have to say this, so my girlfriends will be like, and this, and that, but who are we to judge?
So true. Yeah, absolutely. We don't see that
Yeah.
in this format.
But
where
can
they're
I
like,
can I just say something? I've
Yeah.
strangely experienced both sides of this coin. Okay.
Yeah, I
Because
don't think it's a
like,
gender thing at all. I think it's
in boys'
really,
hostel, the way that we used to gossip, and not that I would include myself in that capacity, but the way that women would be spoken about, and you know,
Correct.
there is a whole camaraderie happening there that the outside world will never know.
Yeah.
And the women will never know, right? Like,
Mhm.
and those men in that circle can be very different people to who they are outside. And that's something I saw in that experience. And I'm very happy to be on the outside now and not be there anymore.
क्या बात है ना, अपने रियल लाइफ में बहुत सारे कान खजूरे होते हैं अपने इर्द गिर्द.
हाँ, 4 बैठे हैं ना यहाँ पे आपके सामने.
how dare you?
Has someone manipulated you in a way of doing something which you were not convinced of doing?
There's a story here. You want to hear it? It's whack.
I'll have to ask the PR. How much time have I got?
I think all of us have.
You
Of course, yeah. Of course, everyone's
All of
been.
us have experienced it some or the
Yeah.
other way. I think that's again human nature.
Not me.
No?
No,
Please.
nobody has
No, no,
I was
no.
just gonna say, I made
manipulated you.
Roshan drink coffee when I didn't want to drink coffee. Ha!
Yeah, that, but like I knew I was being manipulated into that. No, I'd like to believe that I can always sense it, like sometimes from far away, sometimes when it's very, very like close, like right up front.
Hmm.
Either that or the times that I've actually been manipulated, I haven't realized it. But in the recent past, I can always tell
Tell.
that
In
you're.
the
But there are times when you know about it and you just
And
give
you
it.
just
You-
let,
yeah.
yes.
So those don't
Yes.
count.
Huh.
Those don't count. Well, yeah,
Wow.
it's coffee. Coffee's always a good
exactly.
idea.
Yeah.
See, I feel like if you're attracted to someone or you're dating them or whatever, and you have that soft corner for them, then it's far easier to
Be manipulated.
be manipulated or when you.
Can I please just say I have something very intelligent to say?
Yeah, say na.
I just realized I'm such
Should
a
never
genius.
start with
Yeah.
that.
No,
But
but please. I'm trying to work on this new get high on my own supply
Yeah.
thing.
right.
It's working sometimes.
Okay.
So basically, I think validation comes from not having enough confidence in yourself. Thus, you need more validation from outside. And I think the less confidence you have, the more easier you are to manipulate. And so when I was younger and I needed more validation, I was way more easy to manipulate as I am today, where I feel a lot more confident, where I state that I'm about to see something very intelligent. And so I'm less easy to manipulate.
How beautifully you like wound it all together.
Yeah.
It's like good
Nice.
job.
When she
Nice.
started with the validation, I thought that question finished.
Being an interview, I thought the same.
When she went back to it earlier, I was like, "Ye baar baar mat." But good job, good job.
But
guys.
wow.
So crucial.
No, no, no.
You said it so well. Wait, I didn't
Yeah.
realize
Yeah.
it till you said
Yes.
it. How we're each
Yes.
looking as
Yeah.
characters for each other's
It's a full
validation.
circle.
Yeah.
Even you with
Yeah.
her
Yeah,
at some
yeah, of
point,
course.
right?
It summed up
Yeah.
all the themes which
Yeah,
are
it's
involved
just-
in Kan Kajura.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a
You
thing.
intelligent woman, you.
I try.
Wow. Okay, before she just
you
drags
and
me
throws you out.
quickly
Yeah.
enjoying this conversation, I have two small short segments that we'll quickly do.
Sure.
The first one is what the comments. I have few comments for you and you have to react to those comments.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first one is for Mohit. मेरे लिए तो आप सिर्फ महादेव ही रहेंगे.
वो तो मरते दम तक रहेंगे.
Yeah.
उसका मैं yeah, that's a blessing.
You have got so much of love as Mahadev,
Yeah.
and that image people are not forgetting. As an
I don't want them to forget also. Huh? That's the
Yeah.
love I will always have. So why should they forget? Don't forget. Have almonds.
Har Har Mahadev.
Yeah.
Have almonds.
Okay. Almonds, wow. They would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trinetra, for you. You go, girl. When can we expect to see you as cisgender woman role?
I mean, depends on the people doing the casting. Nah? I'm the wrong person to be asking the question, but I did recently audition for a cis woman's part, which was very interesting because I really love, that casting director's work and also the filmmaker that she was casting for. So that was a very interesting conversation where they were like, I think you've come far enough in your transition to be able to explore different
Yeah.
things. And I think as an actor, for the longest time, we've seen men play trans characters, right? And the argument has always been that as actors, we should be able to play anything. But I think that works both ways. And therefore, I would really like to also be playing cis characters. In workshops, I have. In this one really cool workshop, I was playing a pregnant woman, actually, who was sort of disclosing to her sister that she's pregnant. And the sister's lost a child in an accident, like recently. So it was such a beautiful scene to play out because, there's a lot of grief. They both lost somebody, but there's also this new life that's coming into this world. And I will never know what these biological experiences are like in my life. Perhaps as a doctor, I've seen that up close with a lot of people. But to be able to create those worlds in your head, to be able to use your imagination, I mean, that's what the joy of this is all about, right? And I just had a fab time, and I just hope that translates at some point to a project, where it's not about the gender, it's not about the trans or the cis or the blah blah. It's about the performance and the arc, which I think happens in Kan Kajura quite a bit. Jahan the conversation around Amy's transness is one conversation with Ashu, and then it doesn't come up at all, right? Maybe once or twice.
Yeah, in the dinner scene once. But
Yeah.
it's when the story demands it. It's not
Exactly.
that's not what the character is centered around.
And I really enjoyed that, actually. It was one of the things I enjoyed most about this character, that she's a whole person with layers and feelings and depth and not just one label or identity. Yeah.
Okay. For you, Roshan, the iconic Kerala boy has reached top level in Bollywood.
Oh wow.
Did you know that?
No, thank you.
I know.
There's some validation from me. Thank you. That's so sweet. That's
For you.
yeah.
Oh God.
You
Oh,
look so
God.
pretty. I can fall in love with you again and again.
Validation season.
Was that for him or for her? Oh,
That was
okay.
for
okay.
Go ahead, eat some almonds so you don't forget how.
Wow. And lastly, it's the hashtag show. I'm going to mention few names and you have to give hashtags quickly. Okay. Shah Rukh Khan. You have to give hashtags. Whatever word
okay,
comes
okay.
to your mind. Okay. Shah Rukh Khan.
Hashtag 12.
But I also already said king.
Huh.
Iconic.
Superstar.
Salman Khan.
Oh, attitude.
Exciting.
Being human.
Swag.
Alia Bhatt.
Oh, talented.
Brilliant.
Incredible.
Fantastic.
Ranbir Kapoor.
Drama.
Fabulous.
Who?
Ranbir Kapoor.
Very talented.
Greatest of the generation.
Okay. Anushka Sharma.
Oh, entrepreneurial.
Brave.
Damn it, you're
Beautiful.
God. I would beat you in Scrabble. Not that
You
you
could
asked.
try.
I want to say a very word because
Say it.
I'm not getting the hashtag because the kind of the graph she had where she started from, where she
Versatile.
had right now, versatile. But I don't want to say
Not
only
ish. Yeah.
professionally.
Yeah.
I want to say it personally also.
All right.
So yeah, so I think hashtag all rounder maybe.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Virat Kohli.
Oh, champion.
Graceful.
Goat.
King Kohli.
Rohit Sharma.
Winner.
Leader.
Cricket.
Vasai to Wankhede.
Okay.
That's 3 words.
Wow.
So
That's
that
That's
can be
okay.
3 words.
It
You
was a
remove the
hashtag
spaces,
name,
then
yeah.
it's an hashtag.
But thank you so much,
My
guys. It
mother
was
told me to
amazing
play
talking to
by
you.
Thank
both.
you.
Thank you
so much.
And wishing you all the best.
Thank
Lastly,
you.
हमारे फिल्मी ज्ञान के दर्शकों को बताइए कब देख सकते हैं कान खजुरा और क्यों जाकर देखना चाहिए कान खजुरा.
Guys, this goes on.
You say.
Go for it.
You say.
No shit, no shit.
Kan Kajura is out on Sony Live on the 30th of May in all possible languages. And
Kan Kajura se bach ke rehna.
Kan Kajure se bach ke rehna.
Yes, Kan Kajura streaming from 30th of May. Kan Kajura se bach ke.
Done, Mohit.
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.